Hey, hello. It is the Go Birds podcast presented by the Bet Parks Casino and Sportsbook app. Elliot Shore, Parks, James Seltzer with you. What up, E?
What is up?
How you doing, buddy? I like the what is up there.
What is
mixing it up a little bit.
Remember the what's up?
Of course I
That was
what's up?
You remember that
I do.
sucker? Okay.
What, a Bud Light commercial?
Yeah. It was the frogs, right?
Yeah.
Was it
Well,
the
no,
frogs?
first it was the guys.
Oh,
And
no, it
then
wasn't
the
the frogs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was the guys, and then
That's got to be one of the more famous commercials.
yeah, it's up there.
Right? I feel like
yeah,
top
I think
10.
you can do that. And we all we're like, what's up?
What would you say is more like culturally known? That or like the Borat? What's the main Borat?
Oh, that
thing?
my wife.
Yeah, like my wife. Yeah. Like that
Probably
or
Bor-
which
I-
of those?
I think Borat.
I
But
don't know.
it's a good question.
The my wife is a little harder to
Great,
pull off.
yes.
Yeah. I think
I feel like the my wife thing. That was like a cultural
it
phenomenon
was.
for a while.
It's wild how much that actor completely fell off.
Sacha Baron Cohen.
Yeah, like,
Well,
and he's
still-
very talented. Like,
he's
I'm
still
not
around.
dismissing him.
He's
but
still
like,
around.
I just find his other, like, I didn't think Ali G was very funny.
Oh, so I actually
and he had
did
that
think
other
Ali-
one with like the
Bruno.
Bruno.
The Bruno
I didn't think
movie
was funny.
way funnier than I thought it was going to be because I didn't like the. So I thought Dialogy was funny, like the
I
actual
haven't watched
character
a
on
ton
the
of it. I've
show
seen,
back
like,
in the
2
day.
episodes,
Okay,
yeah.
so I watched every episode of that show, and I
Okay.
thought the show was very funny.
Right.
Now he's a hit or miss. I think like he's not always funny.
It's
for
crazy.
sure.
He's married, or at least
was
Okay, yeah.
to
that's what I
Isla
thought.
Fisher.
Yeah, for the girl from
Wedding Crashers. Yep.
Crazy.
Yeah, and
Small world.
Now You See Me and a bunch of
Talk about 2 movies from. I guess I mean we're all relatively the same age, but like 2 movies of our childhood, like Borat and Wedding Crashers. I feel like those are.
So I don't think about them as my childhood.
No, I know you
yeah.
don't. But
I mean, I
it's
was
not really
I was
my childhood.
I was in
mean,
college for both. I think I might have been out
that's
of
fair.
college
That's
for
fair.
Borat.
I was probably
so,
I was probably in my late teens.
Yeah.
You're right. I might be wrong about that.
Yeah.
But just 2 movies that I think of as old that are.
Sure, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of.
I'll know where to go
I
from
don't
this,
really
but-
think of them as old, but you know.
I actually. So I have a. Can I pat myself on the back a little bit?
Sure. Is it? I maybe I'll follow up with the Justin in Tennessee asked me, "How's Elliot doing on the list of movies you gave him?" So is that what you're going to pat your back on?
No,
the
but it is funny because I did almost think of watching one. 2 days
Oh,
ago.
great!
Because we were trying to look for something to watch, and I was
And
like,
you
"Oh,
just-
there's that list," but then I couldn't find it.
I'm
and
so
I just-
upset with you.
I know. Well, I
Yeah.
did watch the one.
One,
It was good.
and it probably would have been the last one on
I
the
have
list. that-
I have
Although,
almost
if
watched.
you let me order them on the list for what I think you would like, that would have been last on the list.
Yeah, well, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
But I have almost watched the Drummer movie a few times.
You got to watch Whiplash. It's so
Yeah.
great. Just
Well, I've
freaking
seen
watch
it a few times, like on the streaming apps.
So
like,
just
and,
watch it.
Yeah, I just.
I'm 100% sure you'll like
I'm sure I will.
it. So just watch
So
it.
like, let's just agree.
Make
I
me
like
so
it. It was
sad.
great.
No,
Like-
you have to do this for me. I didn't ask for I said you have a year to watch these movies.
Are you a White Lotus guy?
No.
Tucker?
I did watch it.
Well, I don't want to spoil it, but like, anyway, so we obviously rewatched or just watched season 3, and so we're now rewatching season 1.
It seems like a great use of time. Rewatch season 1 of
It
the
is.
show that was out
Also,
3 years ago.
You know what else?
What are you doing?
Also, you'll appreciate.
Like, watch
this.
something
This
new.
is an old thing, but like, all right,
It was on 20 years, like Sopranos. Sure, okay, rewatch that.
two
Like, what are you
shows.
talking about
Two
here?
shows. So when we were in Florida, or I was in Florida for the owners' meetings, but also my wife Kristen was
So
there.
disappointing.
So Pluto TV. Have you ever heard of this?
I've heard of it. I've never
It
used
shows all these old shows. You know where underrated, great old show.
it. Okay, I'm
You ready?
so nervous to hear what
The
this
Drew
is.
Carey Show.
It's fine.
It's a nice watch.
It's okay.
I think it was like the
I
King
thought
of
it was
Queens
okay.
before its time.
Yeah,
it's,
I don't think it's nearly as good as King Queens though.
I agree.
think
I
it's the
agree with
same
that.
concept of like you just throw it on and whatever. But King Queens is much better.
I
than
agree
King
with that. I agree with that. But the other one I've been watching that I love, Hanging with Mr. Cooper. I'd never watched that
Queens.
before.
I love that.
It's good,
I
right?
watch that. I watched as a kid.
It's
That's
also
actually
crazy. I feel like old TV
good. It's
shows.
good, right? I mean, it's TGIF. Like it's what it was. It
Yeah, I just never. But
Yeah.
like, I feel like old TV shows, and then we'll get to the Eagles in a minute. But
was, maybe. I
Yeah.
don't know.
old TV shows used to do a lot more crossovers. Maybe
They
they still
did.
do it, but like
No,
the
yeah.
first episode of Hanging with Mr. Cooper, I'm pretty sure is shot in the house of Family Matters. And like,
Well, it was TGIF. They're all TGIF. They're part of that.
right. And then there was another episode of Mr. Cooper where like the Olsen twin is. in
Yeah,
it.
that Full House. They were
Correct,
all
yeah.
TGIF.
But I
So
feel
it
like they
was-
used to do
They
that.
used to do that more, but that was
Correct.
because they were all TGIF.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it happens more. I don't really watch a lot of like network sitcoms anymore. But
I
like,
don't think it happens. I
was
know
like-
that Always Sunny in Philadelphia and Abbott Elementary did a crossover.
You're right. That's a good one. They did that recently, but
But not many.
I
It
feel like
used to be a bigger thing.
back in the day, it used to be so exciting. It's like
Yeah, Law
my
and
God.
Order and Homicide are crossing. That was a
right,
big
or
one,
like
and yeah,
Sean from Boy Meets World is like on another show. I can't think of
really
the other
nailed that
show.
one.
Yeah,
it was really
it wasn't
good.
a good one, but
That
he
was
would
really
be
good.
someone that would show up, and I'd be like, wow. was a good show, Boy Meets World. We watched some of that too.
Sure, I love
So it was an
Boy Meets World.
exciting Florida.
Yeah.
vacation.
You're like a 5-year-old.
I mean, I
Like
like
an 8-year-old.
I just like watching easy stuff. Like, like nice, easy watch. I can scroll on my phone, jump in and out.
Yeah. I watch with intentionality.
You do.
I care about what I'm.
It is.
I have people take the time to create these pieces of art for us.
Yeah.
And when we just, I didn't even pay attention. I have no idea what's going on.
Well, White Lotus is like that. When I'm watching White Lotus, I'm
locked the hell in.
Are you a Righteous Gemstones?
I love Righteous.
I was gonna say
we haven't started this new season yet, but
I think the new season's good.
I can't wait.
Not as much of a fan,
Emily and I love Righteous. Righteous is hilarious.
I'm not the biggest fan of the main guy. We've talked about.
Yeah, I don't know how you don't think Danny McBride. I just think
it's
one of
the
5
same
funniest
jokes.
I think he is probably one of the 5 funniest people.
It's not so. I
think Danny McBride. I honestly think he's probably one of the 5 funniest people in the.
It's not my sense of humor, I would say. Like that's why I'm not like a big Will Ferrell guy.
I know you don't like funny things.
It's just not yet. But
yeah, you're like the camera with that. Like there's a level. Like he doesn't like Step Brothers. He doesn't like these kinds of like.
I like Step Brothers, but it's not my favorite.
You don't like goofier type of stuff.
Correct.
Yes. I love goofy.
Which
stuff.
you do.
I love
compliment each other well.
Dude, I could
South Park guy.
Honestly, I could spend an hour just watching people fall. As long as they didn't get hurt badly, but just watching people fall. It's
so I will say I actually do enjoy that.
Oh, love it. Simple humor.
So I mean, I don't think he'll care if I tell the story, but like, so when I was probably like, I don't know, 7.
Why would I care if you told the story?
No, I'm saying it's about my dad. I don't think he would care.
Oh, I got you. I thought he was saying I don't think you'd care if I was 7. I was like,
no, yeah.
Where are we going here?
Okay. Yeah. But so we went to people live in Philly, the Water Tower in Chestnut Hill.
Sure, yeah.
We went there. That was a good sledding hill.
Mm-hmm.
But we went there to watch like a stargazing. I don't know what it was. Like a meteor or something. And my dad was running back to the car to get something. He tripped over like a low hanging like chain. It's literally seared in my brain. Me and my sister talk about it.
There's nothing better. There's nothing better.
Yeah. So I will say there
Emily
is something
like Zoe will like do
hysterical.
some like gymnastic moves and fall, and Emily and I are just like covering our mouths.
Oh yeah, it is.
It's great.
Although I do think we're also getting at an age where like the idea of falling is a little
so
like,
you could hurt yourself. Yeah, well, that's why I'm always like, because you'll see those videos sometimes they'll pop up and it'll be like, oh, hilarious fall, and it's like that wasn't hilarious. That person could have like broken bones.
Yes,
I don't like those things.
Or you're sore.
I like the ones where you see it like you're like, okay, obviously they might like bruise themselves or something, but I don't like it when it's like, oh my god, are they?
Yeah, now you don't always know at the time.
No, but you can. That's my point. It's like I don't even want to question it. Like I like the ones where they're okay.
They're okay.
Like it's like you felt like in a goofy way or whatever. You're not like, truly hurt.
Right. Yeah. No. But so here's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
I'm flooring myself with this draft class.
Whoa! What's this? Right into the Eagles.
Yeah.
That was a smooth. I thought we were just continuing to mess around.
I mean, we'll do that because I have so many good final
Dude, I have
thoughts.
so many final thoughts. I can't
almost
like
want
7
to do
this
2,
weekend. I do too. I was thinking the same thing.
And also, we got a request for the Baccarat song.
Oh,
got a request.
Love it.
Yeah, it's another one where I think not to make you nervous, but I do think you'll get it relatively.
Okay,
easily.
We'll see. I'll be the judge of that.
I gotta say, for someone that, and I've been honest, like not a big college football guy.
Mm-hmm.
I went to Temple. We went to Temple.
But this past year, we're both back in on college football. That was super fun.
Yeah, you're right.
Playoffs.
You're right. That was
like if anything's going to get me back in, it's that.
Agreed. But I guess the point I'm making is when I start my draft prep, I don't normally know.
You're coming in pretty
I know
raw,
almost
so
none
to
of these
speak.
guys.
Yeah.
Here's what I'd say. I think I have a pretty good eye for
so
here's how I do it.
Well, your track record on wide receivers is very good. Is flawless.
Quarterbacks not as well.
You have been just lights out.
And I haven't even gotten to the wide receiver class.
Yeah,
but
lights out on wide receivers. Now the rest,
a little hit or miss. Yeah. Last year I was wrong on Quinyon.
I was right on Quinyon.
You were right, and I've learned from that, right? Yeah. But I have
like Howie
in my draft prep. I've learned not to care as much if a corner can play man coverage. Like
there you go. See?
I've learned, right?
Yeah.
But from going over this year's draft class, it's amazing how many times I read a player's bio and I'm like, wow, this guy seems really good. And then I go look at a mock draft, and I'm like, oh, he's a top 10 pick. Like I am so good at picking out like certain attributes where I'm like, this guy's obviously awesome. And then I go to look at mock drafts where they're supposed to go. It's like, yeah, you nailed that one. I have such a good read in this class.
Look
of
at
like,
you.
who's supposed to be good.
love you puffing your chest out
and
right now.
I think
because you generally like you will puff your chest about things that you either know you're good at or really think you're good at, like the training camp stats, this, that, or whatever. Right. But like you have, this is not something you normally.
Exactly.
Yeah,
this
is a
like
bold statement for you.
I did the cornerback and safeties over the past 2 days, and so many times I read someone, I was like, oh, this guy, like.
And then you looked, and it's like,
And I looked
it's
at
he's
he's supposed to go like the 22nd overall pick. So I feel like I have a good read on this.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, that's fine. I didn't anticipate you. I didn't
will
anticipate
in
you.
all honesty, though, like it is weird, and we talked about this a bit on the air today on the morning show, but and I think, look, a big part of it is being at 32. Like if you're at 10, if you're at 12, even if you're at 20, you could still like learn 20 guys.
Well, that's the hard thing too,
right?
to your point, when they were at, not to just repeat what you said, but when they're at 10 or 12, me and you and really
got like 6 guys.
Yeah, they're like, we got to learn.
I really want
guys.
this guy,
and this guy versus this guy. Like
it's like it could be one of 40,
32,
50 guys.
Yeah, there's a lot
there. It's so hard to
honestly, the guy they'll get at 32, I don't know if you can make an argument there's like a huge difference between him and like the guy they'll get at 64.
Right, yeah.
Like there is, obviously, but it's not like the difference between picking 10th and 35th.
Totally.
Whatever,
totally. So it's like it's been hard for me to kind of get, and I think the fact that won the Super Bowl, we're just kind of still kind of gliding on that. It's been hard to like get juiced up for the draft.
So that's what I've been thinking about recently, because I kind of went into the draft prep thinking like, oh, it's like they'll pick someone that's fun, like it's not a huge deal. I do think we're, as a collective, both media, I'll say first, and then fans, and not all fans, because I'll tell you this, in the Go Birds community, we got some draft. And I say the word nerd lovingly, like people, like big time draft people, right? But I think we're underestimating a little bit how important this pick is, because one thing we've talked about a lot this offseason is like the Eagles are kind of in like two places with the roster. There's the guys that are already making a ton of money, and there's the guys that are going to make a ton of money. And then there's that middle section where they have to hit on like the Azeez Ojularis, the Adoree Jacksons, where the guys where you're paying them not a ton of money, and they are the ones that you're going to get above and beyond production. Like obviously Saquon was unbelievable last year, so he was worth more than they paid him, but you're paying Saquon as the top.
You're talking about the Zach Bond.
Correct. Yeah. They have
signing a guy for $3 million. And now that's an extreme example. You're very rarely going to sign. He's an all pro, but you're looking for the guys you sign for between $3 to $8 million for a season.
Right.
And they end up playing it at close to a Pro Bowl level.
Yeah, exactly. So now the good news is on the Eagles roster, they do have guys like Jalen Carter, barring injury, is going to play way above his pay grade next year. Quinion, Cooper, Nolan. So they have those guys. But the issue is those guys soon enough are going to be getting paid top dollar, and it's going to be harder to have guys
at important positions.
So it's going to be harder to find guys that are playing above their pay grade. And so while I understand the roster's loaded, even if let's say the guy they drafted 32 never plays a snap for the team, like they're still going to be okay. So I understand in that regard. It's not like it's a crucial pick. It's not like they're picking at 3 for a quarterback where you have to absolutely hit that pick. But there is like an important part of getting this correct, because if their whole thing is going to be they have guys that are paid at the top, and then they're going to have that middle section of guys that have to be overperforming their pay grade. Like this guy at 32 in 2 years could be one of 20, literally almost like 22 starters that are not getting paid top dollar, because as long as AJ, Devontae, Jalen, Saquon, Mailata, Landon, Lane, Cam are here, they're going to be making a lot of money. And then pretty soon, Quinion, Cooper, Jalen, Nolan, Jalix, like maybe N'Kobe or Jeremiah Trotter, like Reed Blankenship. I don't think Sidney Brown will get to this level, but potentially Sidney. Like those guys are all going to be making top dollar soon too. So they have got to get somebody on this roster that is playing at an all-pro level that is not making all-pro money. So the 32nd overall pick in that regard, like I think is really important. And that's why I am so much more a proponent of trading up and getting somebody than I am of trading back and collecting more picks.
Well, and I think that's more likely. I mean, we've talked so much.
Because that 5th-year option matters.
And also just the fact that he does have so many picks the next few years. I mean, we know how he works. Howie is not going to make 20 draft picks over the next 2 years. Like they don't even, I mean, while these picks are important, and I totally agree with what you're saying, especially the fact that, like, to your point, they need lower cost.
They need cost control guys.
That's why, I mean, look, the 2nd, 3rd round picks are important. Like all the draft picks are super important with the way this team is constructed at this moment. To your point, you got a lot of high price guys and guys who are going to make a lot of money. You have to have those cheaper guys, and you can't count on hitting on guys like Zach Vaughn again. Like you hope that Azeez Ojulari has a great year and then signs a big contract somewhere, but you can't count on that. Like that's the whole point of it being a flyer 1-year deal. Like that's the whole point of it. So I agree with the importance of the pick. I think that Howie is far more likely to trade up than trade back with the amount of picks he has, with the roster kind of, in a good spot. Like, it's not like they have tons of holes all over the roster.
Yeah, they have like almost no holes.
Exactly.
Like we could nitpick some, but.
So I actually think it's far more likely he does trade up.
Yeah.
But, obviously it takes two to tango and all that type of stuff. But so are you optimistic going into this draft? Like, I mean, here's another thing that I've thought a lot about. The fact that Howie is on this freaking heater from the draft. Like, basically, since the Jalen Reagor pick, he's just like, all right, I got it. I'm good. I'm going to kick ass. Like, is it just going to keep going? Like, do you have faith that Howie is now just good at drafting? Obviously, you're not going to hit on every pick always, but do you feel like you always talk about like Ozzie Newsome? Oh, man, it doesn't matter. That guy every year in the draft, he just knows he gets him. Again, what value? What value again? Ozzie did it again. Like, do you think Howie's there with the draft?
I do, but I don't think there's okay, let me start again.
There's no one who is infallible.
Yes, like I don't think there's anyone in the league that is so good at evaluating talent that they're going to hit on 8 out of 10 players. But what I think Howie has going is the Eagles are such a well-oiled machine that I think you could put almost anyone in there and they would play well. And like an analogy I would use is like, so I am in a unique position at the station where I'm not on a show all the time, but I fill in a lot. But when I fill in on the morning show for Richie, like you guys are a well-oiled machine. Like I can just sit in, do my part. I don't have to like carry extra. So it's easy. Like your co-host with you and Joe is going to sound better than it is on other radio stations around the country because you guys are already good and have a thing going. I think the Eagles are at a position where like, if I'm a rookie, I am praying to God I end up on the Eagles. Because, yes, maybe you're not going to, like, maybe if you go 22nd, you make more money initially than 32nd.
And maybe you have a quicker path.
And I don't fault anyone for taking more money when you can. But the player that gets drafted at 32, I would guess, I would be interested in looking this up, how much the average contract is.
The second contract.
Yeah, per team. The Eagles have to be up there with the highest, like one of the highest. So do I think Howie is on a heater? Yes, but I also think that's because the organization is on a heater collectively with a lot of things where when you have so many great players, like it's just easier. Like, so let's say they draft a cornerback. It is going to be easier for that corner to succeed because he is playing with Quinyon Cooper, Reed Blankenship, a defensive line.
And the coaching staff,
the coaching staff is awesome. Yeah. So I do think there is a really good chance a guy they drafted 32 is going to be a really, really good player for the team.
That makes so much sense. Yeah. Honestly, I think it's a great point that it's not just about the player, how he picks. It's about everything after.
Yeah, think of what he's walking into.
Exactly. Like
he's walking into like the best
drafting
situation.
And development, not just drafting, right? Like you have to develop guys.
Like Kansas City would be a pretty awesome spot to walk into. But the difference is like if you're a receiver on Kansas City, and I know they have Xavier Worthy now, but like if you're an offensive player in Kansas City that's a skill position player, there's real pressure to perform because they're not loaded with skill guys. But you have Andy Reid, you have Mahomes. If you're a defensive guy, you have Spags. So that's a really good situation. But I don't know if there's another situation in the league that's better for a rookie in terms of on-field talent and coaching staff and infrastructure, and not to mention, like
you're going to get paid if
the guys on the team. Well, most like the guys on the team, we don't ever truly know these guys like super, super well, but like they all seem super helpful and awesome.
Oh yeah.
You know, like
they all want to win. And
I know Darius Slay's not there, and he was big with the secondary. But let's like keep with it if they draft a secondary guy. Like Quinyon and Cooper strike me as guys. Now they're only in their second year, but that would be very helpful to those guys. Reed Blankenship is a leader in that regard. So I just think like yes, it is hard to draft, and ultimately, who knows? But the chance of that 32nd pick being successful is high because of how good they are. And it's important that they hit that pick. I want to circle back on that point. This is not just like, oh, it's draft. That's fun. Like this is a super important day because they have to keep recycling's not the right word. They have to keep replenishing. Yeah, replenishing the young talent on this team because if they keep hitting on these picks, these guys are going to make a lot of money.
Yeah, no, it's that's the way the NFL wants it. Yeah. The NFL there's a reason parity. We've, talked about this forever. The reason NFL makes it so that it's really freaking hard for teams to be good year after year after year after year. Yeah. They want it to change. So yeah, they've definitely hit on a really good formula. All right. Coming up in a minute, I want to get to something Howie said that we haven't talked about that I feel like almost nobody's talked about, and it's the kind of thing I thought a lot of people would talk about. Okay. I want to get to that in a minute, but also I want 3 names from you early. We still have a few weeks, but I want your top 3 targets at 32. Okay. We're going to get to that in a minute, but let's freaking do it. Mike Quick, Seth Joyner, Jody Mack, Mark Zumoff, Rob Ellis, Joe Conklin, and us, Elliot Park, James Seltzer. We are the Bet Parks lineup, reminding you that even if your team doesn't score, ours did. There's always another way to win with the Bet Parks app. Obviously, you can bet on all kinds of sports with the official sports book and casino of the Go Birds Pod. The only one we use, the only one we recommend. Soccer betting, you know.
I mean, I always send you guys the.
Elliot is on tilt about leads. That's okay. On tilt about leads.
Just, here's the frustrating thing about odds. So we're actually talking to. We were talking to
a sentence you never would have been able to say when we started this podcast.
Yes. Well, this is what I was going to say. Yeah. So we were talking to a listener at the Park Show this past week who was not into sports gambling. And I was saying, like, a benefit of learning about sports gambling is it does make you see the
sport differently. Yeah.
But there's nothing more frustrating than when you're like, oh, your team's minus 20,000 to win the league. And then 2 weeks later, it's minus 300. So it's like, so what's the point? Like, why? Like,
why did we even do this?
Right. Like, it just,
well, you know what? It's kind of similar. Like, it's kind of similar with like, the like division winner odds and like baseball, where it's like at the start of the season, it's like, all right, so the Braves have a 94% chance to win. What?
And then it goes,
and then they lose 8 games. It's like it's 32%.
Yeah, and then it just goes back up. Like,
we did a week of baseball. Yeah, I'm with you.
It's also point. The last thing I'll say. It's gotten to the point with leads where it's not even fun to watch anymore.
Yeah, it's like tough
it's just
for you.
They went up 1-0 in the second minute in the last game, and it was the most painful next 2 hours. Like, it wasn't fun at all. It's like, just end it now. Like, this is no longer enjoyable.
So bet on soccer,
yes,
and many other sports. Basketball playoffs coming up. We'll get into that when it happens. Obviously, in baseball action every day. But in addition to all the sports betting, you got a casino right in the palm of your hand. You can play casino games like blackjack, craps, roulette.
Bak, 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 baccarat, bak, bak, baccarat.
Real quick, it takes me like a first.
I know to
get over the ridiculousness of what we're doing every single time.
No, I had the headphone in.
Okay, so do it again. Go ahead.
Baccarat, baccarat, bak, 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 bacca, bak, baccarat.
Oh, I got it.
Bak, bacca, bacca, bacca. Baccarat, baccarat, bak, bacca, bacca, bak, baccarat.
It's because you told me I would get it. Now I'm all
bacca, bacca, bacca. Bak, 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 baccarat. I feel like this is a mess.
It has another casino reference in the title.
I don't know.
Oh, that's a good.
So give it to me one more time. If I don't get it now, it's over.
So the issue is I know the original one and the remix, and I keep like.
Oh yeah, okay. So that could be throwing me off here.
Yeah, no, but he's got it. So.
Right.
Baccarat, baccarat, bak, bacca, bacca, bak, baccarat.
No, no, no.
This actually would be a good Zoe song if you're looking for baccarat, baccarat, bak, bacca, bacca, baccarat. And our last one, then we should.
Yeah, I think I'm like right there.
The title does have a casino reference that you just said.
That I just said?
I'm pretty sure. I don't have the read in front of me,
but
all right, this is a mess. This is official.
What is it?
Poker Face by Lady Gaga.
Oh, so yeah, I think you did okay on that. You were able to get that?
You got it.
You should have sang one more verse. Like it's like baccarat.
Yeah, I think I did that though. Bacca, bacca.
No, you were very like. It sounded like it was like much more of like a slow.
Well, I'm
song.
not gonna yell, but yes.
Like baccarat, baccarat.
That's not how it sounds at all.
It is.
That's the part I was doing. But there's also
like that's the song.
There's a remix of that song with Kid Cudi that is so good. But I think I was mixing up.
Yeah, so I don't know the remix at all.
But you got it.
Yeah.
So I think the majority. Of
I don't know if majority of people will get it or not.
So that was a user selected, a listener.
It's a good choice.
It was a good one.
Yeah, I thought you were.
It worked well with the. I thought you would have got it.
I thought you would have done better singing it. That was my issue with it.
Tucker feels I did do it. Yeah. But I do think that's a good Zoe song. You were saying you were looking.
She knows
for
it. She knows.
I bet you would have got it
all over Poker
Face.
Yeah.
Try it for her. Do the baccarat thing with her. And see
I would do a better job singing it. So she'll
not if you're going bacca. I don't think she'll get that one.
Baka, 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 baka.
yeah.
Baccarat, baccarat,
Yes, that's what I- yeah.
baccarat,
Okay.
baccarat.
So that's good. I agree.
I know that
Yeah.
sounds more like the song.
All right, I guess I
Thank
should have
you.
put a little more oomph into it.
That's
But
my whole
again,
point.
Tucker
I was
did
saying you
get it.
needed more oomph. That
Right,
was my
fair,
whole point. It
fair.
sounded like a softer song than it actually is.
Fair.
when you
That's
were-
fair.
That's fair. So, all
Okay.
that a casino
Yeah,
right
yeah.
at your fingertips. Plus, you can play hot online slot games like Squid Game, Breaking Bad, Peaky Blinders, and Ted, based on your favorite streaming shows and movies, and more. New users download the Bet Parks online casino and sportsbook app right now and get this. Get up to $1,000, yes, $1,000 in casino bonus back if you're down. In the first 24 hours, casino bonus must be wagered. See betparks.com for the details. You must be 21 in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Maryland, or Michigan. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Elliot, hello.
Hi.
How you doing over there?
I mean, I'm relishing in my win.
Could you just close
Although
your
it's not really a win over you, but
I feel like it's a loss.
Yeah, agreed.
I
It's
feel
a
like
team.
we're on
It's
the
a team
same
effort.
team.
You're
here.
right.
Charades.
Yeah,
You're right.
yeah,
Right.
exactly. It's like charade. Thank you.
that is
Okay.
perfect.
I want you to close your eyes for me. Okay.
Close.
Now do this. I want you to imagine something. Imagine a home that is consistently comfortable, no matter the weather outside. Energy efficient windows from Window Nation. That dream, which you just felt, how glorious was that?
I'm just picturing my home.
Can become a reality. So say goodbye to those cold, drafty spots, which are the worst, because Window Nation builds their windows with top quality insulation and seals, making some of the best insulated options available. Insulation super important.
Well, I also think like they mentioned the drafty there. Let me tell you, it is windy all the time. now.
Unbelievable.
It's crazy.
I feel like you
there has
can
to be a
hear it
study
now.
on this.
Yeah.
Like there must be something happening with the atmosphere. Somebody somewhere can explain that better than me. But like
Something
it is
happened with the
something's going on with the
atmosphere.
wind. Like in 10 years, I think we'll look back and be like, Elliot was right about that. But you'll not only feel the difference, but see it in your monthly heating and cooling bills, saving you money all year long. Don't just take our word for it. Blows me away every time. I would kill for a 96%
Me
customer
too.
satisfaction.
Me
rate, by the
too.
way. And I would kill for over 20,000 5-star reviews. But since our listeners never seem to want to leave,
Yeah, they just don't
that's out
care
the
about
window.
us. Yeah.
But think about
Understand that.
how much you have to love something to leave.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Hey,
exactly.
can I tell you something?
Over 20,000.
I don't think I've ever left a review for anything ever in my life.
Um,
Like I don't do the iTunes thing. I don't do any of that.
I think
don't
I've probably left. Honestly, maybe less than 10.
I lied. One time on our honeymoon, we had the best meal I've ever had in my
I
life.
think I've done.
And the guy asked me to
Yes,
go on
yes.
TripAdvisor. He's like, "Can you get?" And I was like, "You know what? This was they brought us free limoncello. It was like amazing." So I went on there the one time in my life.
So can I confession?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm pretty 50-50 on me saying to somebody, like, because people will be like, "Would you mind leaving a review?" And I'm like, "Oh, it was awesome. I'll do it." I mostly don't.
Oh, I never do.
I'm just
yeah. I'm like, sure, no problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, Window Nation.
That's the point. That's the point.
Think how
20,000
much they have to
five-star-
love
You have to
it.
really
Right.
care. That's what I'm trying to say.
20,000 5-star reviews with a 96% customer satisfaction. You know you're in good.
Well, and get this. We talked about money. How about this? Right now they have buy 4, get 4 free. Yes. Buy 4, get 4
Better
free.
than buy 2, get 2.
Twice as
Twice,
good. Yeah.
literally.
Plus 0 interest, 0 payments until 2027. It's nonsense. I don't know how they do it and survive, but they do. And if you get windows for your whole house, they give you a free entry door. No big deal.
I think they should promote that a little more.
Oh,
Just some
yeah, it's a
constructive
free entry
criticism
door. Like,
to the
yeah,
Window Nation.
Like, you know,
windows
build
are
this up
important,
here.
but I would. Oh, would you say door or window? More important?
Window, but I get your point.
Yeah,
I think they're all
Door's
important.
pretty important.
They're all
But
important.
on top of that, you can trust Window Nation because of their A+ Better Business Bureau rating. Say that 3 times fast. They're
A+ Better Business
meticulous.
rating. Nope, can't do it.
Yeah. They're meticulous 50
I did. I
point
really tried there and I didn't get it once.
factory inspection. And all our listeners that we hear from who had a great experience, it is always awesome to hear about that. This amazing sale ends April 30th, so don't delay. Schedule your fast free home estimate today by calling 866-90-NATION or visiting windownation.com.
All right, so
I have a quick thought.
oh, good.
You filed your taxes yet?
You think I'm doing
Well,
it?
this is where I'm going. Right
Emily did our taxes.
Let me tell you.
She told me that she did our taxes.
Kristen did such a good job with our taxes this
Mhm.
year. I just feel like she deserves a shout on the pod.
Look at you.
I was going to owe money, and instead it was like basically broke even.
So
it was unbelievable. It's like free money.
I'm assuming Emily did a good job in Texas. I don't even.
Yeah, she strikes me as someone.
I don't even know. I don't know
Yeah.
whether I would. I don't know.
Yeah.
So you know more than I do as a point. You
Yeah, it
actually
was
know that you would
unbelievable.
owe.
I was sitting in the basement being like, "Oh God, I know I'm gonna owe money," and I didn't, and it was awesome.
Yeah, I didn't think about
Shout
it
out
at
to
all
her.
until Emily said,
It's
"Hey."
a real.
Until Emily said, "Hey, I did our taxes,"
There you
and that was
go.
the whole conversation. I was like,
filing
I went,
taxes,
"Thanks, that was awesome."
complicated.
Yeah, I'm happy I don't have to do
Complicated
it. I think it's
procedure.
easier with the sites that help you. And
Yes,
whatnot,
agreed
but-
with that. Yes. Anyway,
Okay, I want to get your 3 players that you're as of now, and you have this is not a binding thing. This is pencil, not pen. Okay. This is as of
I like it.
April 9th. April 9th.
Yes.
Okay. As of April 9th, that is the list. But quickly, we didn't talk about this, and it didn't really get as much play as I thought it would. What did you make of Howie Roseman basically saying, especially because there are some guys in this first round who have some red flags, so to speak. What did you think of Howie talking really?
So just I would say you should.
So he basically said that they won't even look into people who have domestic violence convictions in their past or anything where they have been proven to be domestic violence or any sort of violence type of thing, that they will not even scout those players.
Correct. So he said this on the Tom McShay show. And the other thing I think is worth noting is he kind of made it sound like it was a Jeffrey Lurie directive. Like he said something like, I don't even have the power to override that. I mean, I have a lot of thoughts.
I mean, we love it. It obviously,
obviously
I support it fully
like,
and all that, but
it's a culture thing.
Yeah.
Like, I think we just talked about how rookies that come into this team are going to be better set up to succeed. And I do think like it is important the people you bring into your building. And it is important the people that are around other players. And I think the same goes with coaching and like
100%.
anyone in the building, right? Like ultimately, you want good people in the building. So
period, full stop.
Yes,
and then we'll move on. Yep.
But my other thought on it was, I'm surprised he said it.
Me, so that's I'm just
surprised he said it.
Like I love that he does it, and I want it to be their internal philosophy. I think it's fantastic that they do that, but by saying it, he did in some ways kind of give up a competitive advantage in a way, right? Like if there's a guy there, and and the Eagles are on the clock, and a team really wants that guy,
I didn't think about that aspect.
They know that they're not going to take them. Like you're telling teams, like, hey, there's 10 guys on our draft board who are not on our board,
right?
Like. And so, and again, fine with them doing that, but I was surprised. Look, I'm okay with him saying, I don't think it's that big competitive advantage that I actually think you could argue that Howie being willing to put that out there is actually something that could force other teams to do things, whatever. Like, my point is, like, I think the good that could come from doing it and whatever nullifies the risk of it. I'm just surprised from a competitive advantage point that how he just put that out there.
It's also like it's a pretty big statement to make just to make it on like no offense to Tom McShay, but just like a random podcast at the combine. It's not like he said this up on the podium after.
Yeah, you're right.
There's that aspect to it. The other thing that before my larger point would be like it's the same interview where he compared winning the second Super Bowl to so he was definitely like
on one
as loose. They like he was like just talking, right?
Yeah.
I think the competitive thing you said is a really good point. I hadn't thought of that part of it where if you're picking 33rd or that's not a great one because it's another round, but if you're picking one after the Eagles, you could potentially know, like, well, I know they're not
going to take that guy. I don't have to, or if you're picking the Eagles or there's a team in front of the Eagles and they're up and the Eagles are up next. You're like, well, we know that team's not taking this player and the Eagles definitely aren't. So we have to get up and jump out, it just,
Well, and the other part of it for me is I agree. And I think it's important inside the building to have a moral compass of things you are okay with.
100%.
And I think that's important inside the building. I also think though, like, by saying it out loud and making it clear and being like, we don't do this, you really are in a way like you better not do it then.
Well, that's
if in the future or
it does look way worse if you end up with
or
doing it.
God forbid somebody on the roster does something.
Well, that was what I was going to say, that you can't, like, you might take someone who's never done it, but then if someone like, let's say it's an important player on the roster, and we have seen things in the past where guys have done things where if it wasn't the quarterback or the star receiver or whatever, that player would have been cut.
Yes.
If it was a 52nd guy on the roster, the guy would be cut for something that someone else did and they don't. Like, what if you get in that situation where it's someone important on the team who does something, it is, they're putting them, and again, fully support it, but they are putting themselves out there.
And and the last thing I'd say before I move on is like, so a lot of the reaction to this online was, well, they drafted Jalen Carter. And obviously that is not a domestic violence situation.
It's not at all that. Yeah.
Right, correct. But what I do think, and let's remove the domestic violence aspects. So basically what he's saying is there are certain players we won't draft based off what they've done.
Yep.
Right. So I think it is good to have an internal organization.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
But I also
kind of like
there is
these situations where
I think I do think there is a real, true, like correct way where you look at every situation uniquely. Right. Like
you're right.
The Jalen Carter situation, not domestic violence. And I think like on a surface level, people could have looked at that and gone, well, he should be off the board. And teams did do that. Right. But the Eagles looked into it. I think that Jeffrey Lurie has earned the benefit of the doubt where it's like, I think he has a good moral compass. And that I'm not excusing what Jalen Carter did at all. But what I'm saying is like, people do things when they're younger that does not define them for the rest of their life. So like, while again, good, like, have your moral compass. Like, I just think organizationally, the Eagles, I hope, continue to look at things on a case by case basis, because there are going to be instances where it's not always black and white. Like, it's gray, like, so I think that they will. And that's why I'm a little surprised he said it, because it's definitely something, not that anybody wants to throw it back in his face, but like you are now setting
you've drawn a line in the sand.
Correct. Yeah. Like you have said, we're not doing it. So it's like, now if you do it, then
people will come at you.
Why? Yeah. Right. So, yeah, I do think if Howie, I don't know. Actually, I don't want to speak for him, but like, I do wonder if he would say it again. Yeah. It feels like he was just talking pretty loosely.
Yeah. So fascinating. All right. 3 names, and then we're going to get to final thoughts. As of today, who are your top 3 guys?
Okay.
For 32, again, they might not be there. They might be there, but realistically, you've been doing the research, and again,
let me just give you some of my
quick reminder to everyone. Mock drafts are not reality. We see every year where it's like, someone's going to fall, guys are going to fall. It's going to look different, but
right. So let me give you some of my draft crushes. Or maybe be a better way to put it.
Sure.
So we've talked about this on the pod, but a quick synopsis of how I do things. And this is not surprising for me. I have an emoji system I use where I have, so currently what I have going is,
so not surprising.
I have the baby emoji if they're like a young prospect. I have the ambulance emoji if there is an injury concern. I have the gymnastic emoji if they're flexible and have different positional flexibility. The running emoji if they're fast, a dog for dog mentality, and a football if they create turnovers. So basically, the way
you're such a weirdo.
And I have a bell if they visited Philly. But so what I'll do is I'll read you the guys that have the most emojis next to their names.
Good.
Like he's a 5 emoji player is a way to maybe put this. So let me scroll through. All right, so a guy like is Derek Harmon out of Oregon.
Okay.
He has the star emoji, the fast emoji, the football emoji, and the baby emoji. He's only 21 years old, and I think that's a super important thing to talk about with draft prospects. Like, there's just such an advantage to being 20 instead of 23.
Yep.
Like literally 3 years of your prime and development there. So while I think there are players that are 23 are better than Derek Harmon out of Oregon, the fact he's 21 is pretty wild.
Which is something that's going to be more and more important with NIL, with guys staying in college longer. You're starting to see these players who come out older than they used to. So
what I really like about Derek Harmon is he had 43 hurries last year as a defensive tackle. Like, that's an insane amount of hurries. To put into perspective, Jalen Carter over a 20-game NFL schedule, I think it's 73 hurries. So obviously Jalen Carter, a better player than Derek Harmon. But 43 hurries in like 13 games.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive.
That's a lot. So I like that. Super fast. What I really like about him too is there was a lot of talk of like the bend, and you don't really read that for defensive tackles. That's more of an edge thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I really like him. He's a 4 emoji guy. He's not a 5 emoji guy. My new draft crush that I'm currently super into is Maxwell Harrison out of Kentucky. He's a cornerback. He has the dog emoji, the football emoji, the baby emoji,
so funny, and
the star emoji, and the fast emoji. So a true 5 emoji.
True 5 emoji.
A true 5 emoji player.
So you need to come to Philly. You could be a 6 emoji player.
I honestly, that might be a record. But what I like about him is it felt like I was reading.
This is so great.
It felt like I was reading Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. Like, it just felt like that's what I was reading.
Should our title be Eagles need to draft a 5 emoji?
Yeah, I honestly think that should be
that's our title,
yeah.
Tucker. Yeah.
So
I love it so much.
He had 6 interceptions over the last 2 years.
Might be your best creation.
I just thought of
it's
it.
up
too.
there, yeah.
Like,
it's
the phrase at least. Yeah. The emoji thing I already
It's up there, man. This is really good.
I just feel like I think Chauncey as a player was somewhat overrated, but he did convince me into like the toughness thing. And I mean, the dude's nickname is Mad Max. Like, he's 5'11", he plays corner, he plays safety. He played outside, but I think he's projected to play inside at the next level. So super into him. I also really like, let me pull up. I don't know how many emojis he ended up getting, but Xavier Watt out of, so he only has 2. Well, because he doesn't get the baby emoji. I have an old guy emoji too, but I don't want to. That feels mean to talk about. So Xavier Watts out of well, if they're old. Like, so Xavier Watts out of Notre Dame. This dude has 13 interceptions over the last 2 seasons. That's absurd.
That's ridiculous.
It's 4 more than anyone else in the nation.
Yeah, that's a
lot. I also like with college when they'll be like in the nation.
Oh, it's great.
Like,
big fan of that.
Like, imagine if I said like Saquon Barkley had more rushing touchdowns than anyone else in the nation.
Yeah,
it's true, but
yeah.
what I like about him is
it might not be true. I mean, Allison Gianti.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
just
right.
kidding. I don't know.
Well,
I'm sure he didn't have that many.
But then on the flip side, I don't think college is taking that into consideration. But regardless, what I really like about him is he used to play receiver, then he played linebacker, now he plays safety. So he knows the offensive side of the ball. He's really good at reading route combinations or recognizing them, which for a safety I think is obviously huge. Like so much of safety is football IQ and knowing what you're looking at. He is 23 and he'll be 24, and that's like pretty old.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't love that. He's not a normal prospect I would like, but I'm really in on him. And then honestly, like overall, this is a basic take, but it is what it is.
You're a basic boy.
I am a basic boy. That is true. If I could pick one player in this draft to put on the Eagles outside of like Abdul,
yeah,
it's
same. That's all.
Like, and I'm sorry, like some.
So my only draft
cliches are cliches for a reason.
Thank
like,
you.
So
that's it. My only draft take is I want you, and I guess I have 2 draft takes, but he's not like Tyler Warren's gonna be a stud. I freaking love that guy. But that's not like a Eagles related take. Like I think that guy should go top 10. I think he's a freaking football player. I love.
He's only doing one top 30.
Dude, I love Tyler Warren.
Yeah.
I think he's so good. But regardless, I love Malachi Starks. Like I want them to draft him so bad,
dude. Like
it's like the only guy I'll be like.
So here's just quickly, if you wanted to say like why,
even his name sounds like
Malachi
Starks,
star name,
hard hitting
100%.
It's like of course
Georgia guy.
Yeah.
Like, but let's say you're an Eagles fan that let's hope you're an Eagles fan that knows you should like Malachi Starks but doesn't know why. Last year, 400 snaps at deep safety, 215 snaps as an in the box safety, 271 snaps in the slot. Wow. Like he lines up all over. He has a super
Malcolm
high football
Jenkins
IQ.
over here.
He has a sprinter background.
Wow,
so like he's
really?
Super fast. Now, some people feel like his speed doesn't translate to the field, but I think if you're a sprinter, like
you're not that
I'll take
slow.
your chances.
Yeah. I mean,
he's a great tackler. He can play man coverage. Like he would step onto the Eagles to kind of wrap up the beginning. And you want to talk about someone that's set up to succeed. You put him on that defense,
secondary,
like, I think he could legitimately be a Pro Bowler his first year with him.
Well, then we just I mean, Quinion should have been.
Yeah. So, I mean, I know, you could argue that maybe an edge would be the right pick, but man, you put Malachi Starks on this team and like
this is great stuff from you.
I'm all in.
You really are locked in on this draft. Just from that whole thing, I'm really impressed.
I appreciate that.
The emoji thing, the most impressive.
It was good. Yeah.
All right, let's get some final thoughts.
Okay. Are you going first?
I can. I usually go. I don't mind going first.
No, I'll go
you
first.
almost
Sorry.
always go
I thought
first.
I got a text message.
Part of how it goes.
I don't, but freaking Fritz and his audio messages.
Oh my dude.
It's like
enough. Dude, it's so annoying. I'll be like laying in bed with somebody.
Yes, and you can't listen to it.
I can't listen to it.
Now,
man.
what I do like is now Apple transcribes it. But
that's nice. But even so, it's not gonna be exact. But yeah, it's like
I agree. Just text.
Just text.
Now
me,
he's
man.
driving, so be safe. But whatever.
Just wait till you're done driving. That's okay.
All right. So I have.
I love the voice.
He loves them.
He'll send us like a 40-second voice text. I'm like, what are we
text him?
What are we doing, man?
Yes. My other friend really likes.
Wait till I see you to tell me that if it's that long.
All right. So I have just like so many good ones.
I'm excited. I have 4. I'm really excited.
Okay. All right. This is maybe not one of my best ones, but I think
real quick. The idea of going. I have so many good ones, guys. They're amazing.
I think it's topical.
And then to go. This one's not great.
Yeah, but I think
that was just really funny.
I think it's topical. Okay. I am shocked more homes don't.
I'll go with my topical one too.
Okay.
I have one that was somewhat topical. Anyway, go ahead.
I'm shocked more homes don't blow over in the wind. Like it blows my mind. Like I'm shocked by it.
Really?
It's so windy.
They're built. Though.
My home is the only house on the block that has like a 3rd floor, maybe a 4th floor. But like obviously, I hope my home doesn't blow over.
Your home's not going to blow over.
I know it's not, but it's crazy to
Wizard
think.
Of Oz.
You just never hear about it.
Don't you live in a row home?
Yeah, he lives in South Philly.
Yeah, but I have. Dude,
what are we talking?
It gets windy in South Philly,
and
but like
but
it's the hot in our bedrooms on that.
So this is it's a ridiculous, absurd.
But think about it. I mean, outside of tornadoes, you never.
Well, yeah, tornadoes separate discussion, obviously.
But think of how good, and I'm kind of jinxing myself. So
you're not. Your house is gonna blow away.
Think of how good you have.
Not a fear you have to have.
But what other things do we make where it's like? It's a handmade thing.
It's a house.
Yes,
man.
but humans make them, and tons of different humans.
Think about how many,
there's like a one house expert. Like,
but how many houses have been made over time? How many blown away?
This is my point. This is my point.
Your point is ridiculous because we have evidence that they're not going to blow away.
And it's crazy to me that we're so good at it, and there's never.
There's a much better final thought. Like I do think it is crazy that like
You never hear of a recall for
like
a house.
real estate signs don't blow off houses more. That like a sign
now
doesn't blow down more. That's realistic. Like I have sometimes when it's really windy out and I'll be walking by a sign, I'm like, wow, like I could like if that fell on me, that'd be really bad. Like you know, like but like a house.
Well, because my point is like it is a human-made product. I get your point. It's just crazy that we just like oh, this won't blow over in the wind, even though the wind is crazy strong.
You were right. It wasn't a great one.
All right, can I give you another one?
Please, yes, redeem yourself.
All right. So as you know, I've been watching a lot of nature shows.
Yes,
right?
yeah.
Peaceful. So would you agree
you're really into peaceful stuff these days?
Yeah, it's very nice.
Yeah, good.
Would you agree that humans are considered vain compared to other animals? Like other like species.
I mean, sure.
You know what I mean, right?
Yeah, I get. I mean, other species don't like wear clothes. And
all right,
like
here's where I was going with this stuff. It feels like every time I watch a nature show and they talk about a characteristic of an animal, it's related to mating. It's like why are his wings so big? It's like to mate.
Wait,
why
brother, you're missing a very, very important part of this.
Well,
mating is not about vanity or about finding the hot. It's about evolution.
No, I know,
it's about having babies.
But there is a level.
No, there's none of it. Like when it's animalistic, that's the whole. It's evolution. Like it's literally just like let's.
I get what you're saying. It's different than human vanity.
My point is they don't like think about it. It's like a it's time to mate. Let's do it.
Well,
like and in some animals, it's like it's literally like a ritual.
No, I know.
Whatever, you know.
But the point I'm making is like so there was this one bird that had a special type of like wing or whatever, and they were like the bigger the wing, the more likely a male. I think it was a female is more likely to pick that male. So while you are
evolutionary,
no, I know, but
not because it's like, ooh, that's a handsome wing. It's because that
wing
can
protect
a level to my children.
If they're picking,
like,
right?
No,
correct,
but yes, but it's all based on evolutionary.
But they're still picking
impulses.
But they're still picking.
But not because of vanity. It has nothing to do with it.
Well, you could argue then there's also the like
no,
pick a partner because they make a lot of money.
But that's a different thing. That's not vanity. Vanity is how you look and how you caring about like that kind of stuff. Like
I think there is a level of vanity to picking somebody based off of not who they are as a person.
Kind of,
you know what I mean? A little,
I guess, but even still, the point is that animals are not doing that. They're like the big wing thing is strictly there's a reason for that. It's that they can protect their kids better, or they can find food better, or whatever. My point is that it's not because it's like, oh, that's attractive, like that's cool.
But don't you think
it's strictly evolutionary?
But don't you think if one of your friends or our friends said to us, like, I'm going to marry this person strictly because they're rich, we would be like, that's pretty cool.
But you're misunderstanding the point. Like, it's not a choice. Like the bird, it's like it
sounds like it's a choice. It does. If they're saying the bird with the bigger wing is more likely to mate, then obviously there is a level of. And now maybe your point is it's built inside.
Yes, of them, so that's my point. It's built inside of them. Yes.
Whereas like we have, I guess, in choice more say.
Like I care more about
now they're choosing, but you're saying they're mentally not choosing.
I'm saying they're mentally not choosing. It's DNA. That's exactly.
There's still a level
impulse. It's urge. It's whatever.
A level of vanity to it, but I see there is. Like it's just crazy how we say humans are so vain, and every animal I see, it's like, well, his mane's super big, so he's more likely to.
Okay. All right, so this is probably my worst of my four, but it's the most topical just because I just saw him this weekend.
Okay.
And I've always wondered, not always, but the last like 5 years or so since this thing. I didn't see it in person. I saw it on Twitter, but I saw a picture of him. Do you think it's always the same guy in the Philly Elmo costume? Philly Elmo. Oh, look, Philly Elmo showed up here. Philly Elmo showed up there. It's like the Philly Elmo thing, but like the original guy, whenever. Do you think it's the same guy? Do you think Philly Elmo's the same person? Right. I'm dying to know this.
So here would be what I think is probably the correct answer to this. I think when it's Philly Elmo, it is probably always the same guy. But I think when you see clips of someone dressed as Elmo, like dancing.
No, that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like Philly Elmo is at like, he'll be at a parade.
I think it's probably mostly the same guy.
It's not like actual Elmo. I'm talking about like the guy who goes to like a rally or a parade, or he's always on Twitter. It's like, oh, look, Philly Elmo showed up here. It's the guy in a costume.
Yeah.
You think it's the same guy every time?
Yeah. But the point I'm making
is. Because it became a thing. It's like, oh, look at Philly Elmo. You don't think someone else would get an Elmo costume and go be Philly Elmo somewhere in Philly?
I think there are other people that wear Elmo costumes and do funny things in Philly. But I think when you're talking about Philly Elmo,
you think it's the same guy every time? I
think so. Now, I will say, I don't see a lot of Philly Elmo. So I feel like maybe your algorithm is feeding you that.
I have a fair amount Philly Elmo at like things.
I really can't remember
Philly Elmo ever.
He goes around the drum line.
Thank you.
He used to always walk by my apartment.
Yes, so I think that's the same guy. I agree.
Same guy.
I'm just saying. I also see a lot of viral clips of like. Have you ever seen the viral clip of like a bunch of kids characters and they're adults dressed up and they're all dancing down the
Yes,
street.
of course.
I love that clip.
That's
Like I don't
very
think
entertaining.
I think there are instances where
No, I
that's
agree.
not
That's
the same.
I'm saying the Philly Elmo. And people are like, oh, Philly Elmo showed up. Like, is it always Philly Elmo?
I wonder how much he's like trademarked.
I'm wondering the whole thing.
Yeah, like is there like
Who
a
are you,
Philly,
Philly Elmo?
Instagram
You
account?
think it's
like,
a Go Birds listener?
Should get him on the pod.
I think there's a
Philly
decent
Elmo,
shot.
if you're out there, let us know. I'm
Well,
dying to know.
I'm assuming he's an Eagles fan, right? Because we see him at
Philly,
he's Philly,
right? Philly Elmo.
Yeah,
If he's not, I got a problem with Philly Elmo.
Agreed.
Right? You're not really Philly, right?
that's a good point.
Thank you. All right. I was about to tell people to stay here, but we're not live right now, so we won't do that. That's it. That's all we got.
Till then,
Bet Parks Pod. We're on the air on Saturday.
We're not.
We're not on the air.
The Phillies. Two
Phillies
more
again.
weeks. Yeah. 2 more
Unbelievable.
weeks. It's crazy.
People are gonna be like,
What's
you're
so
never
crazy is I just want this on the record. This is not our fault.
Oh, we have nothing
like
to do
we're
with
not
it.
taking off.
We were not choosing up.
like,
Where
yes.
I thought we had a show. I
So
just
did
said
I.
it. Yeah.
When you told me last week we're driving there, you're like, we're on it. So I'm like, sure.
Yeah. Because I was looking at the schedule. Yeah. Now I
Yeah.
remember. All right. Well, check out the Bet Parks Fix Pod, and obviously the pods will be coming, and we'll be back on the radio at some point. So until then,
that.
he's not James.